Now, let's move on to what we really want to talk about. A show that Jeff Keighley is on record telling me in a Starbucks bathroom that if they had just given him one trailer, it would have brought the score of his show up. Because, my God, was Xbox packing some motherfucking heat at their showcase. My goodness. It's one of these trailers at Summer Games Fest would have brought that up a couple of points, I reckon. You know what I mean? Like, just one. But Xbox is like, not this time. Not this time, mate. We gave you the mini fridge reveal. That's all you're getting until the next one.
I'm trying to scratch my head. Like, usually after an Xbox showcase, you can think, oh, there's some slow moments, there's this and that. If there was a slow moment in this showcase, thank fuck, because that was a chance to check Twitter or take a leak. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know what it was, but thankfully it was there.
Mate,
like,
I will tell you the slow moments. There's two of them, and I'll tell you where they are. And they are not, like, they're only slow because I'm trying to catch my breath from the last few. Doesn't mean the games are bad. I'm just like, oh, I have a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's break down the Xbox Games Showcase. So first up, and I think smartly, they opened with a trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, basically being like, we'll talk more about this later. They did. They were
they
quick
kept
and concise.
I think that was an appropriate start. It was paced well. It got to the point, and they moved the fuck on just as quickly as it started.
100%. And then, as if I couldn't get any more... Wait, what's wrong? What happened?
I was just going to say, and they dropped the release date for it, so it wasn't like a waste of time either.
True.
Like, that's where we did get the release date.
That is
I think
true.
Phil even said it himself.
Very true. Solid opening, actually. Yeah, thinking about that, that was a solid opening, you know what I mean? I think it was smart to go in with something, you know this is coming, you know we're going to talk about it more later, here's this, here's release date, we're just like, this is us just like starting the fire. And then, mate, as if I couldn't get any more erect, we got to look at Doom, the motherfucking Dark Ages. Holy shit. Honestly, my brain probably would have exploded if this was the first thing we seen. So thank Christ we had an appetizer before the main. The chainsword shield, the fur, the slight change to the helmet, just the combat, the shotgun, the mace. Oh my God, this game. Oh my God.
Skull. That was the greatest thing I think I've ever seen.
Oh my God, like I forget what it's got an official name, but I forget what it's called. But yeah, it like grinds up enemy skeletons into projectiles. So good. And there's a mount that flies and literally does the Godzilla thing where it opens up an enemy's mouth and just beams stuff. There's a freaking Pacific Rim mech. There's like a freaking Jaeger in this thing. And I found out that, like I said, I'm like, man, it looks like a Jaeger. It's because the freaking designer is the guy who designed all the Jaegers for Pacific Rim. That's why it looks so cool. It's the actual guy. I'm like, that is so cool. But yeah, Doom the Dark Ages, holy shit, looked amazing, looked so good. And oh man, I'm not getting this game for such a long time, but I'm so ready for it when it comes, man. It looked so good. What a way to start.
Did it have a release year on it?
Oh, I think it was like next year, but there's 50-50 shot in my mind. I'm willing to wait. If they say, hey, we need more time, I'll be like, you take that time. I do not want this thing half-baked or undercooked, all right? I need this perfect medium, okay? With béarnaise and fries.
I understand a lot of people would say this would have been a great opening game as well, but a great 1-2 punch here. You know, like... We could debate the small parts all day long, but a great 1-2.
Man.
And Phil did have a chat in the middle of it, and he didn't chat too long, which was good. And then it rolled into this. Like, solid opening 10 minutes.
So good. So good. Oh, I need to calm myself down because there's a lot more to come. Then, my friend, we got to look at State of Decay 3. And we didn't get a big look, but it was like, hey, it's coming. And it's going to be great. I'm like, awesome.
So, the State of Decay 3 trailer, I think, was an excuse. Like, as in, it was a reminder, hey, we still exist, it's still coming. Which, honestly, some people were, like, unsure about. So, that's great.
Yep.
But then in the detail, I don't know if it's on Xbox Wire or where the fuck it is, but this game is now getting development support from the Coalition and from Obsidian. And it's they're using the shared world tech from Grounded's coming. So this game's getting some love.
Thank God.
I feel like maybe the rumors of the troubled development are true, but I think we're back on track.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about State of Decay 3, we should think of this as the start.
Yeah,
I know that's
agree.
not like necessarily fair, but in terms of like timelines and stuff, I think we'll see it in 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say, I don't think this is anytime soon. Yeah, very excited. Then we're going to look at a trailer for Dragon Age The Veilguard, a trailer that divided a nation. Half the people hate it, half the people are excited for it. I still haven't even watched the gameplay. Might do a reaction to that for the channel this week. But yeah, there's like half an hour's worth of gameplay out there. I watch it. Okay. I think, here's my personal opinion. I do not think I like the art style, maybe, because I've seen a lot of shots online of like, here's what this race used to look like and here's what they look like now. And I can't argue. They Fortnited the fuck out of some of these guys. But again, it's been a long time since the last Dragon Age. The last Dragon Age was Game of the Year. I think we need to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? If they've done this, clearly they're trying to give a little bit of a refresh to the series. Maybe they're like, maybe it'll be just as good as Dragon Age was, just with a different coat of paint. Like, we need to give them a little bit of leeway.
Yeah. Also, like, after Anthem, I think it's good to be skeptical.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think we should be too nitpicky because the studio still exists, which is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
legit.
Let's just see if it comes out and it's shit. Absolutely shit on it, but I don't think we should get too picky.
If it comes out and it's shit,
see what happens.
That might be the end of BioWare.
The fact that EA showed up with this trailer, I think, was cool though. Just generally speaking, like we said on the podcast a couple of weeks ago that like EA will have something, Ubisoft will have something, and I think EA delivered. You know, they didn't beat around the bush. You know,
I agree.
Like it was something we hadn't seen before, so that's cool.
I agree. After that, we've got to look at a couple of DLCs. We've got to look at some Fallout 76 DLC, which I feel like with the success of the Fallout show, it was bound to happen. You'll be able to play as a ghoul very, very soon.
Yeah, decent DLC announcement, to be fair.
Yeah, and then Starfield, Shattered Space. Looks like they've basically gone, all right, what can we add to this world that isn't there already? Let's give it a horror vibe. I like that a lot. I think it's cool. I think it's going to be very different, and I'm glad that Starfield didn't get the best reception. I enjoy Starfield. I don't care what anybody says. I like Starfield. So yeah, it'll be nice to jump into some DLC. Once I finish the main game, I just keep getting distracted by shiny things over in the corner. Then, a prediction that I had for this show, and I was laughed out of the room. Laughed out of the room, sir. We got to look at World of Warcraft: The War Within. A very long try. Okay, hang on. Let me slam my book down. Such a weird thing to be in the middle of the show. Like, such a weird thing to have there. Because it wasn't like, hey, it's coming to Games Pass. Hey, it's coming to console. It was literally like, it felt like, yeah, bitch, we own it now. That's what it felt like, because it was like,
I was about to say the same thing. That was just showing off.
Let's go over the entire history of the World of Warcraft story, just to remind you that there's a new expansion coming soon. Oh, is it coming to Games Pass? No. Oh, is it going to, like, you're not going to pay subscription anymore? No, Timmy, don't be stupid. Oh, is it coming to console? Shut up, James. We own it now. And it's like, oh, guys, okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, let's just have this right in the middle of the show. That's fine. But yeah, look good.
I don't know if I would have done anything differently. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was just a fuck you, it's ours, and you can still have it.
I think, yeah.
It was like, oh, look, I think it's leading. I think it'll make sense. I think in a couple of years we'll look back and we're like, that fitted in perfectly.
Yeah.
When the Xbox and Windows are a bit closer aligned, things are different in the future. Like, I think the direction Xbox is heading in, that won't feel weird looking back.
No, super fair. Yeah, super fair. I just wish it was a bit shorter. But no, very
also,
good.
Like, Activision doesn't really do much. Like, where else the fuck would you put a World of Warcraft announcement? Like, on Twitter?
Yeah, fair.
You know,
yeah, that's fair.
I guess you may as well put it at the showcase.
Then we got to look at a world premiere. I think this was our third world premiere, man. A really cool world premiere. We got to look at Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Holy crap! A Persona. I just look at it and I see Persona, but like a realistic style Persona. Looks really cool. From what I can glean, it's like there's some overarching baddie that when they painted the numbers, once you reach that age, you die. So if you reach the age of 33, you basically cease to exist. So this group of adolescent people, are like, out there to stop this crazy woman. I'm hoping, okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm hoping that like there's like a story element to the game. You know, you can go through, you can play. But what I would love is a mode that's just called like mode 33, and the characters like will age in the game, and your objective is to beat the game before they reach the age of 33. That could be super cool. Oh yeah. Will they do it? I don't know. Do they want that idea? Absolutely. Pay me. you can have it. But yeah, no, I thought it looked freaking cool. Love the menu, love the interface, love the moment-to-moment action, love the trailer, perfect length, gave me everything I needed to get me excited for it. But yeah, Expedition 33 looked sick. Looks sick.
That was a nice little surprise as well. You know, that was tucked away in there. People are very excited.
I agree. After that, we got a game that I didn't think would be there. We got gameplay for South of Midnight. What a gorgeous game. What an absolute feast for the eyes. Just beautiful, from just the characters, the interactions, the world, the music, the way the music hits a crescendo when like there's something happening on screen. I don't know if that's a demo thing, but just the way the music blended into the moment-to-moment action was just peak video games. It was very nice.
Laugh, but I hope that's the whole game. I hope that's representative of the game. I really
Me
do.
too.
Great segment, trailer, video, gameplay,
So
whatever
good.
the fuck it was. Beautiful. Game looks fun. Game
So
looks great.
good.
And I hope Compulsion have a win here. I really do. They need it.
Yeah, honestly. That trailer was one of the things that I thought, like, if Jeff had this as a show ender, I feel like that would have bumped his show up a couple, because it just looked so nice.
I wonder, actually, maybe this is a conversation for another time, but like, I wonder if Xbox should have given something to his show that would have been the best thing at his show, but wouldn't have got overcrowded in the Xbox show. Like, as in, South of Midnight, I think, is getting paid its dues, but it would have probably got more attention online if it was at his show, because it kind of got crushed between some of the big heavyweights at the Xbox
Yeah,
show. But
I agree.
it didn't stand on its own at the same time, though. Like, it's interesting, but
I think
just a conversation there.
the reason that Xbox didn't give Jeff anything is because they wanted a show that was going to bang, that was going to blow people's socks off, which they got. And also, it wouldn't surprise me if like Phil was scrolling through Twitter and realized that Jeff never tweeted about the PlayStation studio closures, but went ham on the Xbox ones and thought, well, you know what, fuck you, buddy, you're not getting shit.
I hope people notice that, to be honest, because his bias is... You could always say he's got a bias, but at the same time, PlayStation was doing way better than Xbox. So it's like,
100%.
well, everyone's probably... You know, but some of this stuff is just objectively ridiculous. Like, you know, never talks about a negative PlayStation story. 3 minutes after the Xbox story goes live, oh, he's on it, you know? Like, and it's not just him, it's a lot of the gaming media, to be fair, but you might be right. But, like, it's not like Xbox shows up to the Game Awards, though, you know? Like, they don't miss that.
But I mean, like, this year, what did he get for that? He got Lego Horizon Adventures, you know what I mean? Look at what he could have had if he wasn't such a little knob. Crazy. After that, we got a look at a fucking game I never thought I would see on this stage. Freaking Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater just there with gameplay, and I was just like, it was okay. It was. I know it's crazy, right? Doom Dark Ages, freaking World of Warcraft, this Expedition 33, South of Midnight, and it was the Metal Gear trailer that made me go, they're cooking. Like, that was the trailer that made me go,
yeah.
Oh, that was that bit right there. I'm like, what else have they got? How is this not a show ender? How is this not a mic drop? Like, that, to me, that, like, people just, when you think Metal Gear, you think PlayStation. So the fact that this was on Xbox's stage, and it's like,
well, it's kind of funny that
mental.
there was no reveal. There was no date, no year, nothing. It was just like, yeah, like there was a reveal of the gameplay and whatever, but it was like, the reveal really was just either confirming or updating or reminding that it's coming to Xbox. You know, like, it's just, that was it. And that was enough.
it was crazy. Oh, so good. After that, we got to look at Sea of Thieves Season 13. It looked great. We're jumping into Sea of Thieves very soon. If you guys want to see that, make sure to head over to the Twitch. Follow there. It's going to be a great time.
Excited.
Getting a pirate hat.
Sea of Thieves, this is probably another good podcast conversation, but like, it has to be one of the best live service games ever made. Like, I don't know if it's the most successful in terms of player numbers, but just in terms of like regular content updates and improvements and et cetera, I can't help but feel like it's just one of the heavies, you know?
I agree.
And I don't think it gets the respect it deserves. It probably will now that it's on PlayStation, though, to be fair.
I think once it gets the One Piece update, it will go down in gaming history as one of the greatest games of all time.
Oh, they need like, just bring Black Flag into it and stuff as well.
Dude.
You know what I mean? Like, just become the Super Smash Brothers of the pirate world. You know? Like,
Oh my
just
God.
go at it.
That would be, oh my God, that would be crazy. That would be so cool. Oh, after that, we got to look.
It's
Yeah.
Sorry, just to jump
you
in.
good?
It was the most sold game on PlayStation last month.
I did see that. That made me laugh so hard. That made me laugh so fucking hard. Good for Sea of Thieves. Like,
They probably haven't
totally
sold a copy
deserved.
in years on Xbox.
Oh, yeah, dude. No, totally deserved. After that, we got to look at Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Very cool. Very cool game. You don't remember it, do you?
I'm fucking locking up here. What was it called? Flintlock.
Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. It's that game with the female protagonist that's just like smacking people up and stuff like that. It looked like it's one of those games that like looks. I don't want to sound mean, but it's like, oh, it's this super generic third-person action game. But I think it's going to be one of those games that when it comes out, it's going to be like, yo, this game's a 10 out of 10. This is a 9 out of 10. I mean, they just dropped a demo for Steam Next Fest, so. And it's coming July 18, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
Did I get the date right?
Yeah, you did,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I'm a gaming journalist, guys. Heard of you first. Smashed it.
I think that's a good game to have at the showcase.
I agree.
That's right, A44. It's probably not really up my alley, but clearly I forgot it. But yeah, cool to have that.
Very cool. Then, my friend, we got a delectable little trailer for Age of Mythology.
I like that's coming to Xbox Day One. I mean, if it didn't, like, I don't think anyone would be like. I think a lot of people are happy it's coming, but like, I think some people don't understand. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I only ever played that at friends' houses, so it'd be good to give that game a go. And
It's not far away either. It's like September 5th, September 4th, somewhere around there.
yeah, 4th. There was a game at the 4th and a game on the 5th in the showcase somewhere. I think this one was the 4th.
Exciting time. I'll be honest. A lot of people are like, oh, it's that Ara game, and Age of Mythology. It just looked great. I look forward to playing it. I'm glad it's on Game Pass.
Surprised the Ara game wasn't here though, to be fair.
I feel like if you've got Age of Mythology, you
Yeah, just don't mix everything.
The thing I noticed, especially about this show, is there wasn't really anything that stood on the toes of anything else. You know what I mean? There was like, you had COD. You didn't really see many other major like first-person military shooters. You know, you had Doom. You didn't really see any Doom-like games. Diablo 4. You know, it's like they were very like they had like they basically were like. They've clearly held stuff back, according to Paris. They held a lot of stuff back. That Gamescom's going to be a big show for them. That's great. Gets me excited. But they were very selective, I think, about what they've shown, so that so much. But they were very clear about like, hey, this is completely different from anything you've seen this show, and I think that was smart. Like, Perfect Dark, next game. Let's talk about it because I could not fucking believe it was there. But very different from any of the other first-person shooters we've seen. You know what I mean? Nothing like Doom. Nothing like COD. Very Deus Ex. Very great showing. Great gameplay. Great way to get me excited for Perfect Dark again. Did a really good job showing what you'll be doing minute to minute, moment to moment. Looked great. I'm a big Deus Ex fan. I loved Human Revolution. I one of my favorite games of all time. Mankind Divided. I just wish had sort of like wrapped up a little bit better, so I wasn't sitting here waiting for a third game I'm never going to get. You know what I mean? So yeah, Diablo, Perfect Dark feels like that sort of like, hey, we're trying to keep Deus Ex alive. It's just join a dark now, new area. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm here for it. Looked great. Gameplay looked amazing.
I'm very excited for that game. It's a shame that it's probably so far away, but it felt like fresh, but like we're comparing it to other games in a way that it's like, oh, it's like this, but it also feels fresh. But maybe it's just a generation we're in as well.
Possible, yeah.
I think that game's going to come down to the story. Either the story's going to be really memorable, or the story's going to be dog shit, and the game is going to live and die by the story.
Yeah.
And in first-person shooter, that's tough.
And I think it was smart. I agree. I think the story is where it's going to be, but I think it was smart when they showed Perfect Dark this time. They focused primarily on the gameplay mechanics, moment to moment.
Oh, I agree. I think people need to tick that box first. But now it's like next time we see it, I feel like the story needs to start.
That's what it's going to be. Yeah, because I think they've got a banging story trailer somewhere, but I think it was smart they went gameplay first, because I feel like if we just got a story trailer with like little sprinkles of gameplay in there, people would have been like, I don't think this game's real. So they did a really good job. A really good job of being like, we need to show people what it is. It is what it is, and then we can focus on building people up to the story, which is basically which we'll talk about later, which is basically what Avowed did. Like, we finally have an idea of what the story is going to be for Avowed, but we'd seen gameplay mechanics long before we got this story trailer. So I think we have a better understanding now of exactly our objective in that game. Just like I think when we see Perfect Dark again, we will have a better understanding of exactly what our objective is in that game. So yeah, very good. Really good. Yeah, then the booty came out. And then we got a look at Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. That trailer makes me feel so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was such an uncomfortable trailer.
Like,
Great
it's
trailer.
a high quality trailer, yeah.
I didn't like it. I didn't like when body parts were being pulled apart and they were screaming and there were people licking each other, and then the guy behind he was just rowing the boat, man. He didn't make it. He did nothing wrong.
No, yeah. Yeah, it's like the trailer's finally like, oh, we can relax. And then like, oh, mate's got a tree-looking thing through it.
Yeah, poor bastard. Then we got a look. Holy crap. Then, my friend, we got a look at a game where I was like, oh, we must be wrapping up the show, because we got to look at Fable. What a great trailer. Like, just another great trailer that just showcases that, like, this game could be GOAT. This could be Game of the Year worthy. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing a really good job of building up the world.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Honestly, out of every game at the showcase, if only one got to be a 10 out of 10, I hope it's Fable.
Honestly.
Personally.
I hope Fable is the game. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say there's other contenders, but yeah, I want it to be Fable.
I hope Fable is the game that gets the Direct next year. You know how they did it for Starfield, they've done it for COD.
Yeah.
I think Fable getting that treatment next year would be
I was just
so
about
good.
to say, like, I know it's a 2025 game, but I do kind of wish there was a little bit more in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, you know what I mean? But if it got the Direct next year, that would make up for it.
I think that, like, seeing as it's probably, going to drop next year, it just, in my mind, it makes sense that is the game that gets this little Direct. Because we're going to get...
Perfect Dark the year after.
Dude, 100%. Perfect Dark the year after, or Gears. Because I think Gears will need that sort of like, hey, we're reintroducing a whole bunch of people and also introducing a ton of new people to Gears of War. Because it's been some time. But not only that, I think...
Maybe give them both it, you know?
Yeah, we'll get to Gears. I have thoughts. But yeah, I was like, oh, we're peaking. So we got to look at Fable. Looks great. New character announced. Humphrey, love him. I took the piss out of him at the start of the trailer, but then we got a proper look at Humphrey, and I'm like, this guy, he fucks. But also, I think it's giving us a bit more of an insight into what the story is going to be, because basically the trailer was Humphrey talking about, oh, I knew a girl once, and you're thinking it's the player character the whole time, but then very abruptly at the end, it's like the player character's like, Humphrey, she's back, and it's like, okay, so this hero, this fallen hero, is going to be the antagonist for the game, which I think is awesome. Like Marvel movies do it all the time. You know what I mean? Who's the best adversary for Iron Man? Another Iron Man. Who's the best adversary for this hero? Another hero, a fallen hero. And I think that's going to work so well for Fable. You know what I mean? Like, oh.
Training a retired hero. Like,
yeah. It's so good. I feel like people looking at that like, yeah, it looked great. But I think we got a lot more from that trailer if you just like dive into it and like dissect passages, lines, what we're seeing. I think, it'd be it looks great. Then we got to look at a game that I groaned about. I thought, gotta be one stinker in here. And then something happened that made me go, hold the phone. We got to look at Frag Punk. Holy shit, dude. I was like, a generic first-person shooter. Then the motherfucker pulled out a card and broke it in half. And the world transformed into a jungle. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Hang on a second. Somebody pulls out a card and creates an explosion. I'm like, what's going on here? This looks all right.
It's like another hero shooter, you know, Concord, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, all that sort of stuff. But it has a gimmick, you know, it has a twist, it has a thing, and I'm like, you know what? If it's coming to Game Pass, sure, it's probably free to play.
Yeah,
like And I think it was on Kind of Funny. I think it was Andy had said that he's played it and like similar stuff. Like, oh yeah, no, it goes alright. Like, I think he was going into it thinking the same thing. Like, oh yeah, fuck you.
Honestly,
I'm at this game fest. Might as well play this game type thing. But apparently it's alright. So
I've watched so many previews on it because I was like, I don't know if I can commit myself to another first-person shooter. I watched some of these previews and everybody starts out with like, when I seen this game, I thought there's no way
Yeah.
Then I played it. I'm like, oh, maybe I can give it a month.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, legit.
I think Concord looks a lot better. Like when you watch the cinematics of the game, it's like, oh my god, as generic as this looks, it's a triple A, et cetera, et cetera. When I looked at this, I was the opposite. I was like, oh, like what's going on here? Like skip sort of thing. But I'm way more excited about this game.
It's interesting you bring up Concord because after the Xbox showcase, they dropped an extended reveal trailer, which basically has like a story cutscene before it transitions into the gameplay, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like it was actually very interesting, and the characters, like their interactions with each other, seem great. It's like an 8-minute long trailer, and it's really good. And I was like shocked.
Okay. Before you said that, I was gonna say this seems more gameplay. Concord seems more story, but hey, this might have it all.
Mate, I hope so.
I don't want. I'm not saying it's gonna be better than Concord. I'm not trying to start that conversation. I'm just saying that like when I saw it, I yawned, and now I'm sort of like, I feel like it's got just as any chance of being the next hero arena shooter.
Yeah, Fragpunk was that game where I'm like, oh, I might get up and go to the bathroom. Wait, what is that card doing? And I sat back down, sort of thing.
There was some good cards, the head enlargement, all that sort of stuff, but it was specifically the one that spawned a jungle. That was the moment where it had my undivided attention.
That's what I was like, ooh. Like, I wonder what other, like, arena sort of modify. Oh, man, I'm excited to see more. We're going to take it slow for a little bit now. We're in the, hey, I need to take a breath. We got to look at Winterborough. He plays a little mouse. You've come home. You're a big city mouse. You've come home. You got to get over the bridge to see your aunt. Holy shit, we did it. We built the bridge. Only took 6 hours of in-game. Oh my god, my aunt got taken by an owl. Can't wait to see more. Good trailer. After that, we got just a beautiful coming-of-age story. Mixtape. Look cool. Apparently it's like, yeah, I remember seeing someone describe it as being like, it's like telling the story of these three teens that are about to like go off to college and be separated, but they tell the story through music, through this mixtape that they've put together. So like each level will be represented by a song, and they do some sort of activity together. And yeah, so yeah, cool. Look cool. And then, we got to look at Life is Strange, Double Exposure. Max Caulfield, the protagonist from the first game, is returning. And yeah, it looks like she hasn't used her powers since the first game, and this is her using her powers again for the first time. But instead of being like time reversal, it's like dimension hopping, which was explored in a graphic novel, I believe, which is cool. Okay. So there is precedent for it. It's not like they've just gone, hey, let's give us some new powers. It's like, hey, they gave her new powers earlier. Yeah. That's good. Then to take it way down, this is where I like leant back in my chair and I'm just like, oh, love this music. We got to look at Flight Simulator 2024. Oh, look at all these jobs. Oh, that guy's saving people. Oh, that guy's putting out fires. It just has to be there because
it probably costs $40 million to make every year.
It looks so good, though. Like, it looks so good. Like, I looked at it. I was like, I don't need this game. And then I looked at some guy, like, putting out a fire, and I'm like, shit goes up a light here in Australia all the time. If they need me, I need to know how to fly this freaking helicopter. I need to know how to fly this helicopter. It looks great. It looks really cool. I'm glad they're trying to innovate, I'm going to try to make it better.
I'm glad it's on Xbox, I think it's, what, it doesn't look as good, but if you ever just need to have a fucking fix, playing that on xCloud is the way to go. True, yeah. It's a 200 gig game. It looks like shit on xCloud, except because the game's slower, it sort of doesn't look as bad, but like the bit rate's obviously low. So if you're there for the graphics, you got to install it. But if you're just there to get it out of your fucking system, xCloud.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, now we're getting back up again. We're sprinting because we got to look. We got a story bit for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It was great. It felt like it was straight out of an Indiana Jones movie. I thought it was really funny. The German guy making fun of American cartoons and being like, ha 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 ha, and Indy just being like, He's like, okay. And then there was like, I don't know, it was weird. It's like, it felt like I was watching an indie movie, which is kind of like what you want from an Indiana Jones game.
I think it was just reminding us of the tone, and B, like, yeah, this feels like the movies. Like, I think that's all it needed to remind us, you know?
I was like, this feels like the movie when they were fighting and the crate slides down and then they like look at the crate and then they look at each other and they back away and it slides and they smile and then they start punching each other again. I thought, it's peak indie humor. It's so good. So I'm very excited for Great Circle. And again, like I saw a lot of people complaining like, oh man, if only it wasn't first person. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's different though, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, just enjoy that it's different. Just enjoy. They probably went like, hey, let's do it in first person because Tomb Raider and Uncharted exist, right? And they exist because of us.
Tomb Raider. This is the thing, right? No one's comparing it to Tomb Raider or Uncharted. Everyone's comparing it to the fucking Indiana Jones movies. Couldn't have a better story for them if you tried. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't necessarily disagree. If it was third person, I wouldn't be complaining. But it is different, and I think it's on Game Pass. Most of us are already subscribed for watching the Xbox showcase. Let's just give it a go. If it's shit, we'll say so afterwards.
Honestly, I think supporting this game, right, getting traction behind it, leads Disney to go, we need more Indiana Jones games. You'll get your third-person game. Just support it if it's good. Don't walk away because, it's first person, I don't want it. If it's a good first-person indie story adventure, support it. You'll eventually get the game that you want. Support is everything.
And I mean, you know, they've done things like it goes third person perspective at certain moments just to make sure like they tick some of those boxes. It's cool. Anyway, I'm excited. I need to probably do some Indiana Jones rewatching before the game comes out though.
Mate, bloody keen. Then we got to look at Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers. Look good. Look like another like Souls type game. Look cool. Then we got a story trailer for Avowed. Looks like the world is becoming consumed by some sort of poison or corruption, and it is up to you, the player character, to fight back against that corruption. Sort of explains the key art now with the skeleton that's been infected, you know. Still, if the game turns out to be bad, I agree with everybody. The key art, best key art. It's my background on Xbox. That's my Xbox background. Is that key art? Well. It's freaking amazing and it looks gorgeous. Like, oh my god. It's gorgeous.
I just worry purely because of their own marketing, really, that people are like gonna think this game is something it's not.
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know. I think they got more time to set the narrative straight, so we'll see how they go.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's gonna be a fine game. Might not be my sort of cup of tea, but looks cool.
I think you'll get a good... This is the thing. If it's not your cup of tea, I feel like thanks to Game Pass, you'll get a good solid like 4 hours out of it. And I think if you enjoy it, you'll keep going. If not, you can drop out. Game Pass is great for that.
Yeah, no, 1000%.
Mate, after that, it was time for me to have a little sippy sip of a drink because we got to look at Atomfall, which is some sort of like post-World War... I can't remember if it was like World War I, World War II, a game set in Britain that like is basically doing like an alternate universe sort of thing where it's apparently a bit of it is based off like a book that came out that's sort of like based off this sort of story. So yeah, I'll look, it was CG, but it was like, it wasn't really CG, it was like in-engine stuff, but there was no real like, there wasn't a lot of gameplay that sort of indicated what you'd be doing. I think they're going for a sort of like, I looked at it and I'm like, cool. This is British Metro. Like, that's the vibe I got. Like, we're doing like a Metro game, but it's like Britain and the world hasn't blown itself up yet. So I'm keen to see what they do with it.
I look forward to seeing it again because I think it's coming out next year. So I hope we get to see more because the game looks interesting, but I don't know if I'll go and seek a lot out about it. I think I need to be shown that again at the Xbox Showcase next year, potentially. Is it coming to Game Pass? I can't remember. It's not exclusive or anything.
I think it is. I think it's a Game Pass game.
Because I mean, I've just looked up the developer. I didn't realize it was a Sniper Elite developer.
Yep, Rebellion. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to see that. That's good. That's good.
Very different from them, which is great. Means they're probably getting to make a game that they want to make at the moment while, before they make another Sniper.
I love Sniper Elite 5, don't get me wrong, but I think it's good for them to stretch their wings.
100%, I agree. Pardon me. We are coming to the end of the show now with a story trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Great story trailer. Get you hyped for the lead up into the Ubisoft Forward gameplay dive.
Just quickly,
Yes.
Rebellion published it as well, so they are making whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Surprisingly.
It's great.
Yeah, no, Assassin's Creed, like I said, Ubisoft will be there with something. No surprise, Assassin's Creed. Could have also been Star Wars, but I think Assassin's Creed was the right call. Good trailer. And, yeah, obviously seen that at the Ubisoft Forward.
Yes, yes. And then we got another trailer for Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl and a release date. Finally.
That was September as well, wasn't it?
It was September, my friend, and I'm very excited because I've had this game on pre-order since the announcement of the Xbox 360. I swear to God, it's been on pre-order that freaking long. So I'm glad we're finally getting it. It looked great. Looked gorgeous. Like, my God, does this game look good, man.
Yeah.
It looks so good. Following up, that was the reveal of a new digital Xbox Series X and another Xbox and an Xbox that looks like a starry sky, basically. Do we really want to touch on this? Like,
Just glad it was quick, Kyle. I'm just glad it was
it was
quick.
so fast, so great. Then oh man, we hit
More thing.
the one more thing. And the screen went red. And I went, there's no way. And it started. And then I twigged way earlier than a lot of other people. I was watching reactions and I twigged when I seen the newspaper and it mentioned the opposing faction to the college. I was like, oh my God, it's Gears. And then the screen pops up with a cog on it. And then Jordan was like, oh my God, it's Gears. And then Marcus Phoenix comes through the fucking wall and all of us like, it's Gears. Like, it looks so good. The Locust looks scary and awesome. There was like, what's crazy is it's the song from the original reveal trailer of the original Gears of War, just humming along in the background.
Beautiful.
So good. A trailer that explains so much before the name drop even happens, right? You know, we've got young Marcus, you know what I mean? We have the Retro Lancer, which means we're not even at a point where we have the Lancer we know and love, the Chainsaw Lancer. We're still dealing with the Retro Lancer with a bayonet at the end of it. That's like, oh, that means we're super early in the timeline. We have a Locust that is fucking terrifyingly strong, which means Marcus has never fought one of these guys before, because by the time we get to Gears of War 3, he eating these motherfuckers for breakfast. Like, he's destroying these guys. So clearly this is a new enemy he's never really experienced before. He's getting tossed around, he's getting thrown. He throws a television at this guy's head. Suddenly the floor breaks away. Oh my God, an emergence hole. Oh my God, it's a red emergence hole. What is going on? Marcus is about to fall into the hole. Then an arm grabs him. To the untrained eye, it's just an arm. To Kyle, he's like, oh my God, I know that fucking arm. That's my boy Dom's arm. And then it's revealed, it's Dom. And you're just like, can't handle this, man. Can't handle this. Dom's, oh man, Gears is that, oh man, Gears is so important to me, man. Gears was the game, when Gears 3 came out, okay, my mum knew how important that game was to me. Because when I played Gears 3 and Dom dies, I got the next day off school. It affected me that hard. I didn't have to go to school the next day because I was like, oh. So to see my boys back at it again with the Retro Lancer, you know what I mean? Amigos, bromigos, back at it, and then the drop, right? It's like little Gears of War, and I'm like, oh my God, it's clearly about to drop like the Roman numeral for 6, right? We're about to get 6, and it just says E-Day. I'm just Emergence Day, like, oh my God, this is the prequel to end all prequels. There's footage out there of me somewhere on the internet. It was from years ago. It was like before Gears 5. It was before Gears 5 when it was like rumored that the opening to Gears 5 was going to take place on E-Day. I remember being like, we need a game set in that time period. Hell, go back further. Give me a game set during the war before the Locust emerged and then end the game with the emergence of the Locust. That is my dream game. Like just like the citizens of Sarah fighting citizens of Sarah. That's the planet, by the way, people who don't know Gears, because it's been a long time since we've got good Gears stuff. Give me that. You know, that would be great. And then like have the final level be this hard fucking fight on E-Day. But no, we are getting the E-Day game. Like it's still... Oh man, I'm just so excited. I can't explain my excitement to people. Like, there are a couple of games out there that will always get me like super hyped. You know what I mean? Like an Assassin's Creed, I'll jump into every single time. Have they kicked me in the balls? Yeah, they have. They really have. You know what I mean? Like I'll jump into a COD, but there are like few games that get me more excited than like life itself. And Gears of War is one of those games. Like Gears of War and Halo and Assassin's Creed growing up were my shit. Like I read every book. You know what I mean? I watched every YouTube video I could find. So the fact that we're like Gears looks like it's back. Like it's back. And we're going back. Perfect. Going back in time was the best call they could have made. They've already said they're not abandoning the Gears 5 storyline. But I think the smart thing is going back, introducing people to what made Gears. The guys, the war against the Locust, I think will be a perfect refresher before we go back and completely destroy the story with whatever Gears 6 is. I don't hate 4 and 5. I actually think 4 is great. People really like. I don't like 4, but I think after the original trilogy, which in my mind I consider a masterpiece. I think Gears 1, 2, and 3 blend together so well and are so good. It reminds me of Batman: Arkham Asylum, City, and Night. Like are they all amazing? No, but they all tell an amazing story across a trilogy. Gears does the same thing. It tells an amazing story across 3 games. Is every game perfect? No, of course not. I think they are. I think they're great. I think Gears 1 is still playable to this day. I think if you boot up Gears 1 today, it has aged like a fine fucking wine. And I'm saying original Gears on 360. I'm not saying the remaster they did. I'm saying OG Gears on 360 has still aged like a fine wine. I would also suggest you just play the remaster, to be honest. That's
one I've installed.
Brilliant. Best way to experience the first Gears. Yeah, that is the best way to experience Gears 1 now. But what I'm saying is if you play the original on 360, it plays the exact same way. It has aged perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. Best way to experience it though is Ultimate. 2, I think is so good. 2, to a lot of people, where the series is like, that is the best game in the entire series. I love 3. 3 does something that so many third parts in trilogies fail to do. It ends the story and it shows respect and ends everyone's story so respectfully. Like it shows respect to every single character in the game, whether they've been there since the first or even were introduced in the third. Everybody gets a really good ending. So it was always going to be hard for Gears of 4 to come in and sort of like pick up where a game ended so well. But I think Gears 4 did it. Gears 5 is where it got real loopy, and that's because they decided to change protagonist. Like it was a really weird choice. But no, I'm excited to see what they do next. But yeah, Gears of War E-Day. This is one of those hard ones. Like I look at like Summer Games, right? And I'm like, I look at Summer Games and I'm like, yo, that Alan Wake 2 DLC is probably my announcement, but my game of the show is probably Monster Hunter Wilds. I look at this and there's so many games of the show that it's just so hard to pick. But I think like E-Day is the one that made the show for me. You know what I mean? It was just crazy. I can't wait. I was so excited. So excited. And then we got the Black Ops Direct, which just totally is like zombies is back, omnidirectional movement, multiplayer soon, story campaign, like, oh, we're taking everything great about Cold War and making it that much better. And I'm just like, man, Xbox popped off. Sorry, I've just rambled. You go.
They fucking did. I don't think we really need to cover Black Ops 6. Read Jake's coverage on Press Start if you need a bit more in detail. But
great article.
I think this show didn't have a few things. You know what I mean? Like Halo wasn't there, Minecraft wasn't there. Like there was the fact that the show was this of high quality and was missing some of the pillars that you would expect at a top tier Xbox show is. It finally feels like after 74 years that this shit's starting to fucking align. They've still got to release some good games. I'm not sitting here pretending like that hasn't happened yet. Like it has happened yet, but like it just there is a bit of momentum here. I trust Xbox will fuck it up about October, but
fair.
But you know, there was all these rumors about a handheld console. Didn't get none of that. There's been lots of I mean, that's the thing. If I think back over the last 10 years of Xbox, some of their best shows have been amazing because at the end they drop like a hardware announcement. Or they drop some platform thing. You know, backwards compatibility. Backwards compatibility is one of the best things I've ever done, don't get me wrong. But it was a platform announcement, not a game announcement.
Yep.
And this show did have a platform announcement. They got the digital Xbox Series X. That just looks like shit, so, you know, whatever. The fact that the show didn't require nothing platform related, like, it was a banging show, 10 out of 10. Honestly, no notes. Pacing was good. Set design was good. You know, all that sort of shit. Trailers were good. Enough gameplay. Maybe a little light in release dates, but these days I feel like giving yourself a release date's like locking your feet together. You know what I mean? I kind of get it. I think, yeah, like I said, if, you know, maybe there was something Halo to show, that would have probably, you know, set me alight a bit more. But, you know, Trustful 343, let's be ready. Fucking banging show. I don't even know what my highlight was, to be honest. Like, as in, like, as much as the Fable trailer was the greatest thing ever, it didn't like up the ante from the last trailer, because the last trailer was so amazing as well. You know what I mean? Like, it just, like, I think when it flashed up 2025, as much as that's a long wait, I'm like, all right, the wait starts now. You know, like, this is the countdown's on. So I don't know what my highlight was. The low light was like, that's what I mean. The couple of times where I got to have a breath were lovely because I needed a fucking drink or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I like this showcase, and I hope this now sets the status quo for them.
Oh, me too.
No, I mean, I hope they're at Gamescom. I hope they're at Game Awards, sure, whatever. But the developer direct in January and the show at this scale in July, that's enough to carry them all year. As long as they don't step on a rake, they don't have to do much to keep this happy. You know, just don't fuck it up now.
Yeah, honestly.
If you announce one thing at Gamescom that's amazing, you know, announce a new fucking I don't know what, but like, what's the fucking example of something that wasn't there? I can't even think right now. But if they announce a handheld at Gamescom, you know, they just got to announce one thing, then move on to the next show. Like, don't linger, because 5 or 6 years ago that was the problem. They would have their E3 showcase, which was fine, and then they would do like an hour and a half show at Gamescom. Like, you don't have an hour and a half of stuff to show. You know, like, so I just think this show was so good, but I'm like, oh, what are they going to do to fuck it up? I hope they just do less, honestly. Less is more at the moment now. Now that you've done this, show us more South of Midnight if you have to do something, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Yum said 10 out of 10. I don't give, like, I don't give 10 out of 10s out very often, but my goodness, it was so good from start to finish. 10 out of 10 for announcements, 10 out of 10 for pacing, 10 out of 10 for gears. Don't fuck it up. I'm pimping it. Don't screw it on me, man. 10 out of 10
for value as well. Oh, sorry, I thought you were capping it there.
No.
10 out of 10 for value. Like, the value of Game Pass has really gone up.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah, definitely. After that, yeah. 10 out of 10 for the little direct at the end. I enjoy that. Keep that coming. 10 out of 10 for Phil, who went on IGN and basically confirmed that a handheld exists without telling us a handheld exists. Good job, Phil.
I love the question, like, would it be local compute or cloud? And he's like, let me word it this way. I like my ROG ally that runs game locally.
Yeah, dude, like, all right, man. I'm like, you cheeky bastard, you cheeky motherfucker. So yeah, definitely gonna be a handheld sometime in the future, which gets me excited because hearing that, it's like, well, Sony's got to be working on something. You know what I mean? Like, it's not often these two aren't working on very similar things. I think the only thing Sony's ever dropped that Xbox wasn't really fucking with was VR. Like, and kind of paid off.
Only awkward.
More for Xbox.
It's only awkward because Xbox announced they were working on VR. That's the awkward part.
Yeah, dude. Handheld, man. Crazy. And then 10 out of 10 for putting Jordan to sleep during the Xbox Direct. If you guys haven't checked out our reactions to the Xbox Direct and you want to see Jordan fall asleep, go and check it out. It's freaking hilarious.
I think we have to acknowledge it was about 4:30 in the morning.
It was so early in the morning. But my God, I still laugh. I still laugh at my own face when I realized what was going on because I heard a noise and then I randomly go, look over at the Discord and I see him glowing, but he's not saying anything. I'm like, he's fallen asleep. It was great. It was bloody great. Yeah, Xbox, 10 out of 10. Now.